Welcome to the Captain's Log, issue 137. It's just a short reflection today. The writing for the Learning Science book seems to have been going well. In fact, we seem to have taken a step forward. We're 3 months into that writing now. And the pieces that we've managed to create around metacognition and latterly social metacognition, I felt are more than we could have done individually. As we tackled those topics, I found myself thinking, this is daunting. And as we come out of it, I find myself thinking, that went well. So what's happened there? Well, I think we're just finding coherence as a community, as a group, coming together. I think we're finding our voice, finding our ability to build off each other. Say said we're finding our gestalt, which I think is right, our way of being together. In my work around communities, I talk about coherence. When a community becomes coherent, it finds its energy together. It's more than the sum of its parts. And I feel that's what we're doing. It's funny, but as I've talked to Say and Jeff individually, we've said, we're enjoying the process. We're looking forward to it. We have our evening writing cafes. And I find co-writing difficult quite often. In fact, usually I find it difficult, but not with this at all. And I definitely feel we've taken a step forward, not the last step. I also said to the group this week, when we finally publish this book, I think we'll look back at this writing and we might say that was a sort of a turning point where we started to find a voice and we're talking more about structure. But I don't think this writing will necessarily make it into the book intact. It will doubtless change again. So, that's nice. I feel good about the work. In fact, overall, this year is feeling like this inflection point. I've got the doctorate running, which has given me a body of work. I've got the learning science book running. I've got the social age book running. And I've started to work on the book on togetherness and otherness, all alongside the day work, of course. And that's interesting. I just thought I'd share that process. I've tried writing books in different ways. I've sometimes gone in and created a structure and then gone back and filled it in. Just open up all the boxes and then put stuff in all the boxes. I find that gives me a book at the end that feels like a load of separate boxes. So I kind of gave up that approach. And now I tend to do what I'm doing with the Togetherness Otherness book, which is take space to explore. So with the Learning Science book, we're taking until April to explore. Populate the landscape, wander around it, get lost, bump into stuff. With Togetherness and Otherness, which I'm writing by myself, I've just started. I'm writing some prose and I'm writing some ideas. What I'm looking for in that is to decide if it's actually a book or not. Sometimes an idea pops up. Oh, that'd be a brilliant idea. Let's write a book about this. But it turns out it's not a book. It's a thought, or it's an essay, or it's one good idea that just doesn't build out. And that's what I'm looking for. I have this sense that there is value in thinking about the ways we are together, the ways that we are other or made other. I think it's largely inspired by the Identity Project work, which has really talked a lot about this. So I'm building it out. In the prose I've been writing, it's felt almost like poetry. And I think that's building off the Humble Leader work. I've said before, the writing for the Humble Leader feels quite poetic. This feels even more so. So I suspect I've taken the permission of the Humble Leader and I'm pushing my luck further and writing it in quite a poetic way. Again, that may not make it through to the final book, if it is a book. But at the moment, it's carrying the writing nicely. And I'm just capturing some paragraphs, some sentences of ideas. So when I read it, it reads really badly. It reads like, oh, here's a couple of paragraphs that are nice. And then this next paragraph repeats half of what I said before. And then here's an idea. I don't know where that goes. So I've written, I think maybe 1,500 words so far. About 750 of them feel about right. About 750 feel like, where's that going? So I try to find structure. One of the things I try to do is not get caught in structure too early. Sometimes, like I created a section about family. I thought I'm going to talk about togetherness. I need to think about where we're together. Family is a good idea. So I wrote something about that, but that might turn out to be a terrible idea to try to build those sections out. So it's very light touch at this stage. It's exploratory, but I enjoy it. And I'm enjoying I suspect I'm deliberately provoking myself to find the tension between these things, like the work on learning science and metacognition and complexity. It's what I call the sort of sharp work. And then this other work about humility and now about otherness, it's very soft, it's qualitative, it's subjective, it will be based in first-person accounts as well. They're the two ends of the spectrum, but I like that. In the middle, I've been running quite a few sessions at the moment. So I've been carrying the other work in there to rehearse and prototype it. This week I wrote about working out loud, about that process. And one of the things we do is we develop vocabulary. We rehearse vocabulary. So I've been carrying both those pieces of work into these spaces, trying them, seeing how it goes. So that's been the kind of writing process this week. It's been a productive week. I'm feeling productive with writing at the moment, and I've done some good sessions. But, we'll see how it goes. It's early stage for all this work. It may turn out to be a step in my thinking, not something that comes into the format of a book, but we'll see. Hope you had a great week. See you next time.